My name is Sarah, the quiet one in the family. The one who paid the bills, saved the house, and kept everyone comfortable while they treated me like I didn't matter. But the moment my own mother told me, "You're not welcome at Christmas," everything changed. That was the day I stopped being invisible and made them regret ever underestimating me. We all agreed. "You're not welcome at Christmas." My mom's words echoed in the tense silence of the kitchen. In that moment, my heart didn't just sink, it shattered. This is the story of how I took back my life and made my family regret ever underestimating me. It was a cruel, unbelievable blow from the very people I had been sacrificing everything for. But as the initial shock wore off, a different feeling began to simmer beneath the surface. A cold, quiet fury. They didn't realize the house they were sitting in, the food they were eating, the warmth of the fireplace. I was paying for it all. And if they wanted me gone, then maybe I should give them exactly what they asked for. This is the story of how being pushed out of Christmas led me to reclaim my life and showed my family that some lessons are learned the hard way. My whole life, I'd been the overlooked one. My older brother, with his big talk and a flash-in-the-pan career, was the golden child. My sister, with her charming smile and carefree attitude, was the favorite. Me. I was the quiet one, the dependable one they always took for granted. I felt invisible, no matter how hard I tried to prove my worth. But when my dad passed away, everything changed. The grief was heavy, but so was the reality of the mortgage payments. My mom panicked, and my siblings, the so-called successful ones, froze. The family home, the place filled with our childhood memories, was on the brink of being lost. It was a moment of truth. My brother's flashy job suddenly couldn't cover the bills. My sister, who had never paid a bill in her life, was no help. So I stepped up. I had been working 2 jobs and saving obsessively, not for a fancy car or a vacation, but for a sense of security. I looked my mom in the eye and said, "I'll take care of it. I'll keep this house safe." She hugged me with tears in her eyes, and for the first time I felt like I truly mattered. But that feeling was fleeting. Over the years, I became the family's silent savior. The mortgage payments, the endless repairs, the rising utility bills. It all fell on me. My siblings lived there rent-free, treating the house like a personal hotel. They'd waltz in for the holidays with cheap gifts and a sense of entitlement, while I was scraping together every last dime just to keep the lights on. It was a thankless job, and my frustration festered in the background. The breaking point was Christmas. I had been looking forward to it all year, pouring my heart and soul into making the house feel like a home again. I worked overtime to afford thoughtful gifts for everyone and spent an entire weekend decorating, hanging lights, putting up wreaths, and carefully placing the old ornaments my dad used to love. I thought maybe this year they'll see my effort. But a week before the big day, my mom called me into the kitchen, her eyes avoiding mine. "We all talked," she began, her voice barely a whisper. "We agreed you're not welcome at Christmas this year. Your brother and sister say you're always so tense, so negative. For the peace of the family, we think it's best if you sit this one out." My chest tightened. I could feel the blood pounding in my ears. Negative. I was breaking my back so they could have a roof over their heads, so they could have a home to be comfortable in, and I was the problem. The words "thank you" had never crossed their lips, yet now I was too tense to be around. I wanted to scream to tell them the truth, but I just nodded, walked out of that house and into the cold night. And in the silence of my car, a new, chilling thought took root. If I'm not welcome in this house, why should I be paying for it? That night, I stared at the mortgage papers on my desk. Name. My signature. Every dollar, every sacrifice, every sleepless night was a testament to my commitment. A commitment they had just casually thrown away. And suddenly something clicked. They wanted me gone. Fine. But they'd lose a lot more than just me. I made a phone call the next morning. It was time to stop paying. At first, nothing seemed to change. My family carried on oblivious. I could picture them gathered around the tree, laughing and celebrating, while I was alone in my small apartment, eating takeout. Yes, it hurt. But under that familiar pain was something new. a quiet, growing power. Because I knew what was coming. 3 months later, the letters started arriving. Thick envelopes with bold, red warnings. Past due. Foreclosure pending. My mom's face would drain of color as she opened them at the kitchen table. My siblings started whispering, then arguing. The panic was setting in. One night, my brother stormed into my apartment. His face red with rage. "Why did you stop paying the mortgage?" he yelled. "You're ruining everything." I sat back, calm for once, without a shred of my old insecurity. "I'm not welcome, remember?" said my voice steady. "Why would I keep paying for a home I'm not part of?" The look on his face, the confusion, the dawning realization was priceless. The house went into foreclosure. The very home they'd told me I had no place in was gone. That Christmas, instead of sitting alone, I treated myself. I booked a cozy cabin in the mountains, with snow falling outside and a fire crackling in the hearth. I had a warm meal just for me, and for the first time in my life, I didn't feel like the forgotten one. Felt free. Meanwhile, my siblings were scrambling, crashing on couches, their sense of entitlement shattered. My mom called me, sobbing, asking if I could just step in one more time. I told her, gently but firmly, "Family doesn't kick family out. You made your choice." And I hung up. As I sat by the fire, watching the snow fall outside my cabin, I finally understood. Their rejection wasn't a punishment. It was a release. 4 years, I had been trying to buy their love and approval, a silent sacrifice they never appreciated. But by kicking me out, they had given me a gift. The chance to walk away from a life where I was only valued for what I could provide. That Christmas, I didn't get a seat at their table, but I found something far more precious: my freedom. And as the foreclosure sign went up on the house they so casually dismissed me from, I knew I had made the right choice. Sometimes the most satisfying revenge isn't about hurting someone. It's about walking away and letting them face the consequences they created. Because people only truly realize your value when you stop giving it away for free.